Alright, ladies and gentlemen, get yourselves ready, loosen up, because I am here to bring you guys Game 3 between Acer.Nerchio and TSL.Polt. I don't know why I'm still talking like this, but I'm very excited to bring you guys this final cast between these two guys. This is the third game, the rubber match. Whoever wins here will go on to the Grand Championship matchup, where they will face the winner of tomorrow's match. So, hope you guys tune in and find out what happens here. I know Nerchio's not happy. He did not GG out of the last game. Most of us would not be happy either, man. They're playing for keepsies here. I actually don't know how much the money is. I actually should have looked that up. Do apologize. But I know that there's something at stake here, and you don't want to lose. Obviously, they're pretty high-profile players. Polt and Nerchio. Polt's a Code S player. Nerchio is a champion of his own right, oftentimes overshadowed, like I said before, by Stefano, but put all that aside, man. He is still an extremely talented Zerg, and we'll see what happens, man. Obviously, for Polt to cheese him in the last game, Polt's showing by cheesing that he doesn't feel too comfortable playing a macro game, I think, with Nerchio. It's either that, I guess it might be too big of a statement to say that, but it's either that or he just wanted to take the quick victory, and he felt like he had a good opportunity to do so. That on top of the fact that Cloud Kingdom is a nice Zerg map too. It's a really good Zerg map for Broodlords. And maybe Polt just didn't want to get himself into the headache of playing against a maxed, Broodlord army on Cloud Kingdom. If you're going to go against a Broodlord army, I think you're much better off on a map like this. This map, I think, is much more fair for Terran versus Zerg. So if that was his thought process, then I think it makes a lot of sense. And, it's a big map. Polt's going to go right away for a CC first. So this time, he switches it up. So I guess my former statement of him not feeling comfortable playing a macro game might have been a little bit of a assumption. But he is going to go for a CC first. So he's obviously thinking that he can stay toe-to-toe with Nerchio. And unfortunately for Nerchio, he did not send out the early drone scout this game. Before he built the spawning pool. He didn't actually get the Overlord over to the natural before he built the pool either, because a lot of times on this map, what you want to do as Zerg, because so many Terrans go for the CC first, you just want to make sure, you want to check, did they go CC first? Because if they did, and most of the time they're building on the low ground, man. If you're going greedy, you might as well just go all out, right? If they're building CC first and you want to go 3 hatch before pool, that's actually a very economical counter to the greed of the Terran player. And Nerchio didn't do that. He actually went for more safe build. And that is probably partly because of the reason that he got cheese last game. Partly because he got cheese last game. So that is probably keeping him a little true here. And he didn't want to die to another proxy 2-racks. So a lot of little mind games going on between these two guys right now as the SCV finally makes its way inside the base. And Polt's going to come in here, man. He's driving along, puffing his cigarette. And he's like, okay, well, you got to pull pretty early there. And that means, hey, I'm ahead. I got the command center before you. You did not go 3 hatch before pool. But that also means that Polt has to be a little concerned about the possibility of an all-in, because anytime a Terran player goes CC first, it does leave them a little risky to that kind of play. So what Polt's going to do here is he's going to park this SCV right over here, right where the Zerg likes to get the third. And he wants to confirm or deny whether or not Nerchio is going for that third hatchery, because that is going to spell the course of this game. If Nerchio goes for that hatchery, all right, it's game on. We're going into a full macro game. If he doesn't, then I don't know why that drone was AFK. Usually that doesn't happen. This isn't Brood War. But if he doesn't, then we know something's up. So Polt here is going to go ahead and get the engineering bay anyways, just to blockade it, and expect him to cancel right there. Beautiful. That's a work of art right there. And you can of course cancel that off once the hatchery comes, or when the Zerglings start attacking it. And here we go. So all signs pointing, at least for Polt, that it is going to be a macro game, and so he's preparing his Hellion so he can start to deny the creep spread, and of course control the map in whatever way possible. Has 2 gases up in the background, already has a pretty fast missile turret. Excuse me, an engineering bay. That's the prerequisite to the missile turret is the engineering bay. I'm getting ahead of myself here, but he's already got a really fast engineering bay. I wonder if he's going to rush a +1 upgrade here. Yeah, he is. So he is going for some type of a timing attack with that +1 upgrade. That is almost always the reason for that is some type of timing play, and I'm expecting Stim to come along the side this +1 as well. He's got 2 reactors. Oh yeah, it's going to be some type of Marine Hellion timing here with that quick +1. Stim pack now coming out as well. That's the strategy that Polt's going to go for, and Nerchio is going to want to be really careful about this game now because he is thinking, I'm playing super macro. I actually have to catch up a little bit because of the fact that you went CC first. So I think there might be an opening here for Polt to do a lot of damage, but Nerchio, he does have a Roachhorn coming, and he's got +1/+1 of his own. So he should be able to be prepared. You know, he can make roaches if he needs to, and he's going to have +1/+1, so that's big news if he needs to defend. Now, here we go. We have some Hellions trying to get their flamethrower into that Scorpion, but apparently the mucus that protects it is quite sturdy, and the Scorpion, aka Hatchery, will live. So Nerchio is going to get that Hatchery up, and he will be just A-okay as SCV comes out to repair a little bit of the Hellion damage that was sustained. And you know, that's pretty nice to do. It allows you to continue to control the map for a more prolonged period, and it forces the Zerg to bring his queens out and deflect the Hellion. It's not like Zerg has a problem making queens, but there's only 5 right now for Nerchio. He doesn't have the more conventional, I think nowadays, 6, but 5 is still a pretty sturdy number to have. And so these Hellions don't pose any threat at the hatchery locations. And wow, a Spore coming up. So Nerchio here thinking, well, maybe Banshees are coming out to follow up the Hellion play, but that really isn't the case. It is going to be a Marine Hellion timing with +1 finishing, Stim, and combat shields, and ooh, armor as well. So it's going to be a nasty attack here from Polt, who has a lot of things going for him. And does he have another CC coming? Is he planning to get an earlier command center, or is he going to attack first? And it looks like it is time to attack, so he's going for it, guys. And you know, I would imagine that factory leaving the reactor because we don't need any more Hellions. That's all you need for now, at least. And really for the rest of the game, you don't need more Hellions. You need a starport right away at the front door, and you need to start getting that reactor medevac control on the map to provide support for your bio and to get some elevator drops in. Here we go. The Hellions now greeting roaches, and usually this is a fight roaches can win, but with this much flamethrower, it's crisscross, man. This is crossfire! Oh man, that brings back good memories. And Polt's coming in here with the Marines and Marauders, and this is such a nasty attack. Nerchio, is he prepared for it? He's got some Banelings on the field, but he does not have centrifugal hooks, the Baneling speed upgrade yet. And you know, most Zergs wouldn't have the upgrade this early on, so this is a great timing play. Polt now gonna run by with a bunch of Hellions, and more crossfire of flames coming out to roast those Zerglings up. Roaches quickly trying to get back inside the main base to defend the drones, but drones are going to get roasted up no matter what. Meanwhile, at the front door, it looks like something happened there. Looks like a Baneling must have connected on the Marines, and now Polt is going to lose all of his Hellions, but he did kill off a significant chunk of drones. He had a drone barbecue back inside the Zerg backyard, so yeah, that was pretty nasty. I can almost smell the fumes of the drones burning carcasses right here, casting from my chair. 75 workers still, though, for Nerchio, so he really, you know, he suffered some economic losses, but he has been able to re-macro quite speedily. And remember, guys, he's still got that upgrade advantage because he went double Evo Chamber, whereas the Terran went 1 Engineering Bay, so the upgrade's pretty bigly in favor of the Zerg player here. And, you know, at the short term, the Hellions did good damage, but in the long run, I don't know about it, man. I don't know, because Nerchio has rebuilt very quickly. He's grabbing double hatch now. He's double expanding. He's getting 1 in the middle, 1 at the bottom right. And once again, because of the play style from Polt, the early upgrade, the Marine Hellion Marauder push, he lacks siege mode, and siege mode just now finished up, so it's a later siege mode, and I feel like that doesn't set himself all that well for the later stages of this game because he doesn't have that many siege tanks. You know, 13 minutes in, and he's only got 2. So it is a very weird situation, and I hope it's not a repeat of Antigua Shipyard where Polt just is, you know, he's behind and he's trying to catch up so fast, but he's struggling to do it. So we'll see what happens, but for now, Nerchio looking really, really strong, and I'd have to give him the nod here in this game. More roaches and zerglings coming out. Hive mode on the way. Pathogen glands as well. And it looks like we have some roaches looking to devour some late night dinner here, chilling at the Zonaga Tower, and they'll crunch and munch on that SCV. Meanwhile, at the third, there is a wall up, so that's nice for Polt to have. A lot of Terrans do this now. It's just build a pseudo wall with supply depots, and it keeps most aggression away, and it's a very cheap way to do it. And it allows you to obviously pass through. It's like a mobile gate. Meanwhile, Polt at the natural has been able to secure a location, has a turret coming up as well in case of burrowed roaches. And that's very smart, you know. It's not a common tactic, but when you see roaches on the field, it's best to be safe rather than sorry. And so he's got the missile turret up, not to mention, yeah, obviously he doesn't have it inside the main or anything, so he's not scared of mutas. Knows that mutas are very unlikely right now, you know, with Nerchio having so many roaches and zerglings, and I guess he's scanned the infestors or something. But there is a Spire coming, but that is not for mutas, that is for Broodlords, ladies and gentlemen. And so in the next couple of minutes here, we're going to have Broodlords on the field. 92 workers for Nerchio, my god. So it's like the Hellion Harass never even happened. And he is now operating on a massive economy of 5 bases, man. This is a little bit crazy now. But, you know, Polt has been keeping up in macro, and that has been one of his strong points. Polt is very good at macro. He is kind of like a cheater macro Terran, man. When you don't think he should be able to bust out this much supply, he can. And he's just on the heels of the Zerg player, only 9 supply behind. And so he's right up there, man, and he's gotten his tank count up to a sizable count. It's at 5 right now, most of them concentrated at the front door. But, you know, he is pretty much airtight. The only thing about this is, while he's airtight on 3 bases, at some point in the next 5 minutes or so, he's going to want to think about grabbing a 4th. And that's where the Zerg is looking to pounce, I think. I don't think Nerchio is going to go in before that. I think he's waiting. And obviously the Comsat checking out the army. And yeah, Polt thinking now, all right, I'm going to go for the 4th while I'm doing this double medevac drop. This is actually really genius. It's going to distract Nerchio in the background while he's able to claim this expansion. Very smart play by Polt. And now, it actually looks like he is just going to go in, but right away runs away. And, you know, Nerchio's static defense, man, just too good. 2 crawlers, a double spore as well, protecting the hive, protecting the adrenal glands upgrade, and obviously all the key elements here for late-game Zerg play. So that was really, really smart by Nerchio. Just good investment in base defenses to keep that medevac drop away. But it looks like Polt here, feeling kind of bold, is going to siege up right up on the creep. Notice, though, this is a good spot for Terran, man. It's pretty clogged up, and he can siege up right there. But it looks like Roach is doing a swing around on this planetary fortress. Will Polt cancel? No, he will not. He lets the fortress finish. So now this is a permanent building, and it doesn't look like it will kill off the roaches in time, and he gets fungled. All of his Marines getting fungled. In fact, the planetary fortress back at home has fallen. Polt maybe not even paying attention, should have canceled the PF. Now in a lot of trouble, lost a huge chunk of Marines, spreading right away. Good spread by Polt. Doesn't want to let his Marines get fungled again, but the secondary wave of fungals comes in, and it hits the Marines to the north pretty well. But it looks like, you know, Polt might be able to go eye for an eye here and get a hatchery kill. Yes, he will. And now the question is, Polt, will he continue or will you fall back? And I think upon seeing Broodlords, that's a good indicator of, hey, man, it's time to, you know, pack your bags and go home. But he's got to stand his ground and kill off the Zerglings first. Otherwise, it's just a pest as he tries to retreat. But roaches come in as well. And Polt, at the last second, quick thinking on his feet, saves what he could inside the medevacs and will get the hell out of there. But you know what? I think it's almost like mission accomplished, because if you're going to lose a base, you better take a base as well. And he did just that. In fact, the identical mirror bases here, the one in the middle of the map on Daybreak for the Zerg and the one in the middle of the map on Daybreak for himself. So that was very good from Polt. And almost more importantly, I would say it's of the same level of importance, is he scouted Broodlords before they got large in numbers, so we can start to make Vikings right now. And I do believe we have Vikings on the way, 2 at a time right now. It looks like he's going to just roll through roaches, but back at home there are Zerglings going around the backside, going to go for a siege tank. Ouch! 1 tank goes down, and those Zerglings just paid off for themselves right there. There are actually no more siege tanks on the map. Polt has switched into Thors here. And, you know, Thors are an interesting unit. I actually saw a little bit of this before. Terran's not really knowing how to counter Broodlord Infestor, and Thors, you know, they do good AoE damage. Broodlords and Corruptors like to clump up, but it's hard to pull off, man. And I don't know, those banelings and fungals just way too good. And this is what happens when you go Thors, and all your Marines die. Your Thors are terrible. So he immediately saves what he could. Very nice play once again. There's actually not much anti-air except for the Infestors, but they're too slow to catch up to the Medivacs. And now the Viking is going to try to pick off the Broodlords. Meanwhile, Zerglings going for a counterattack. Keep in mind they are crack upgraded, so they are very strong. And I don't know, Polt debating if he should drop the Thors or not, deciding not to, and now he's going to go ahead and drop them down, realizing, hey, they're pretty low HP, don't want to sacrifice them. And it looks like the attack over here has, I don't know what happened here, dwindled down, I guess. The Vikings killing off most of the Broodlords, and a very close third game here between these two juggernauts, TSL.Polt and Acer.Nerchio. Polt now rapidly repairing the Thors back up as quickly as he can. That's another benefit to going Thors, I think, is SCVs, they're so big, SCVs can surround and repair very quickly, and so they're right back up to speed now. And you know, the thing though, still, I feel like Thors are just not the answer to Broodlord Infestor. I do like the Sky Terran that Pain User tried against my cousin in a cast I did, the last cast actually. If you guys haven't seen that, check it out. I guess he didn't pull it off all the way, but Raven Battlecruiser Viking is a potent strategy that a lot of Terrans are figuring out right now. So, you know, Polt, I guess, is going to try the Thor style, but to what I've seen so far, it's very hard to pull off. You know, Broodlords just don't clump up as much as something like a Mutalisk does, and they're not light, so they don't take additional damage from the Thor. But we'll see, man, if he can pull this off. Not incorporating Vikings into his play, that's totally fine. Excuse me, not Vikings, but not Ghost. A lot of Terrans shy away from Ghost now, but Ghosts are, I still think they're a good unit overall. And Nerchio right now back at his side of the map, getting that Broodlord Infestor Death Ball up to speed, man. This is one of the scariest Death Balls right now in the game of StarCraft 2. In today's game, most consider Zerg to have the strongest late game army now. Broodlord Infestor is just very difficult to deal with. So we can see more coming out on the field, but it doesn't look like Nerchio has too many Infestors, just 7. Meanwhile, there is medevac drops coming around the north side, but remember, guys, there's spines and spores back here, so I don't know, man. He might lose a medevac. There's already cracklings back here as well, so it's unlikely, man. I would not drop into a horde of waiting cracklings. That's like suicide. But here's some marauders on the south side. Oh, those 9 infestors or so. Beautiful fungals. Great reaction from Nerchio, and he can continue to play this kind of whittled down, I'm going to take out your army with great fungals and slowly win the war of attrition style. Meanwhile, it looks like Polt did drop into the main. Oh, but these last 2 plays, man, I don't agree with them, man. The drop, it looks like he was able to clean out the cracklings, though. That's a surprise. Wow, those cracklings I thought would have killed off all those marauders and tanks, but now he's going to get the Baneling Nest, and how much more damage can he get? Polt has to be careful here. If he can get any more damage, it would be great, but it looks like he's going to get bungled and has no way out. Too many Corruptors, too many Infestors, and that drop is cleaned up. And I don't know why you would drop a Siege Tank, man. That is weird. Siege Tanks are much better stationary units, better in defensive postures, much better than dropping. They're too expensive to drop around the map. Not a unit you want to lose. So I think the last 2 plays have gone in Nerchio's favor. He was able to defend the attack over here, and he was able to clean this up, only losing the Baneling Nest. Now it's Nerchio's time to make a counter-strike. There is a planetary here with a bunch of meals, man. The income for Terran is skyrocketing, 2,800 right now. And we'll see, man. This is a big battle. The Broodlord's going to work on this planetary fortress. The fortress taking tons of damage, and Polt not going to repair. Polt, why aren't you repairing the PF? The PF has fallen, not even bothering to repair, and I don't know why, but the PF has gone down. Maybe he just didn't want to put the SCVs in range of the Infestors and bungle, but man, this is so scary. Nerchio comes in, great fungal growths, man. Look at how he's controlling the Infestors under the Broodlords, getting wonderful fungal growths off, and cleaning up the bio on the ground, and letting the Broodlords do the rest of the work. There are still 2 Vikings here, though. Has to launch out some Infested Terrans, has some Infested Terrans coming up right now. Careful, Nerchio, you don't want to lose all your Infestors here. They're pretty weak in the back, and he lost a couple running them forward, but it looks like he's going to win the battle nevertheless. And now 170 supply to 113. Zerglings, Cracklings also running behind the back of the base here at the 3rd, and Polt is starting to scramble, man. is starting to stretch a little bit thin. I don't know, man, if he can keep this up. He's now lost a base. He has not been able to take eye for an eye like he was in the last couple of minutes. This time he lost a base, and that was a pretty brutal loss indeed. I don't know why he didn't try to repair, but I guess maybe he didn't want to put them in danger of being fungled. If that was the case, then why leave the SCVs and mules there in the first place? I don't know. But it looks like Polt going to get surrounded by Cracklings one more time. Those Marines are protected pretty well by the Thors, though, but Cracklings don't care, man. They are devouring you up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then for dessert, some tasty SCVs and meals. Hell yeah. And Polt is in danger here, does not want to lose his PF as well. Looks like he brings his Marines back just in the nick of time to keep them alive, or to keep the PF alive. And this is pretty much Polt's final lifeline, man. If he does not establish some type of security here, he will not have any way to keep up this battle against Nerchio, who is almost maxed right now, has a very scary death ball. And, you know, Nerchio is looking like he's going to run over. He's going to steamroll Polt in this final game, unfortunately for any Korean fans out there. But Polt's not giving up yet. Going to go in with the Marines, the Vikings, and the tanks one more time. Bungles, though, are just proving to be too much of an obstacle to overcome. And Polt will have to pull back once again, man. Bruthlord is just encompassing from all angles. And this is looking quite grim indeed. It's just a ragtag band of Marines now. And whatever, you know, Polt can muster up, but it isn't much, guys. And now he's going to lose another PF. This time he gets a repair down on it, and it's holding its ground somewhat. The PF getting a lot of kills, obviously, but Brulers can fire all day, man. Now these Infestors, not the best positioning, but they do get out there Infested Terrans, and now the Crackling's coming out to clean up. And that will probably be it, ladies and gentlemen. Polt just trying to desperately hold on with the repair here, but the Planetary Fortress will fall. The fungal growth seals the deal. And now just awaiting the GG. And I don't know, man. I'm really impressed by Nerchio's play here. He is looking really solid, guys. And I can't wait to see how he performs in the Grand Finals, assuming he wins this game, which I think at this point we all are. But yeah, it's looking pretty solid from Nerchio. And there it is. The GG has been called. I hope you guys enjoyed this cast. And if you guys did, make sure to check me out. I'm at youtube.com/HDStarcraft. You guys can find more YouTube StarCraft 2 videos there with me casting them, of course. Tomorrow will be semifinal B. I actually don't know who's playing, which makes it more interesting and exciting, I think. Haven't not seen the replay pack yet. Did not watch this at all. So hope you guys are excited. And you know what? I'll see you guys tomorrow. HD, signing up.